There we go. If somebody is outside the country, when I mean outside, what do I mean by outside the country? If you're outside Kenya, you can start that contact with the code +254. So +254 707 074722. So yes, welcome. Now, who is the modern man? These are the symptoms of the modern man. That's where we left, right? Number one, any person who is suffering from all these chronic conditions, chronic fatigue, you're yawning in that office. Immediately you get in, before you even settle, you're already yawning. So you want tea at 10. And the government understood this so clearly that it actually provided tea at 10. So you come out of your home, you've taken tea at 8 a.m. in the morning. When you get to the office at 10, there's another tea coming in, of course, with sugar and the snacks and the wheat products. You consume that, you spike your insulin levels, they set your glucose very low. They pump glucose into the cells and blood glucose goes low. Again, you're yawning at 11 because now that is hunger pangs. So insulin is the one that is responsible for the hunger pangs and the cravings for food. Sends you into cravings again, and boom! At 12:30, you want to shut that office and run. Gen Zs will come for you. You want to shut that gate and just go and eat. Now you eat yourself to satisfaction with a balanced diet. However, you eat this size of ugali or a lot of rice plus beans. You've just forgotten that rice is carbohydrates and beans are carbohydrates. Or you do chapo and dondo, so that chapati and your beans, all carbohydrates. Or you do this size of ugali plus some vegetables plus 2 pieces of meat, because your doctor warned you against meat, because of course you're having chronic conditions as the modern man. So again, a lot of carbohydrates, 70%. You come back to the office, again, so tired, you don't have any energy, and somebody tells you a lot of blood is being pumped into the stomach to help you in digestion, and now the brain is sleeping. So you're busy sleeping and just drooling saliva. And then at 4, of course, they bring you that evening tea, a very short tea that has milk and a lot of sugar, plus some snacks again. You take it again, another whole meal that is rich in carbohydrates. Then at 7, you're on the jam, you get home at 8, no exercise, no physical activity, no movement, you just slept and walked to lunch and back. Now you're seated in the car for about an hour or so, or 2 hours, you get home. Again, your wife, because she's a lawyer, she has made you that good ugali, one that you just smell it from the gate. Come there, you sit there, you eat your good ugali plus mrenda and all that, and then you take your hot shower and boom, you're in bed. Now the same wife who made that meal is expecting you to do something because you have energy, right? You just ate ugali, so you have energy. And then guess what? The next minute you're snoring. Hey. And the cycle continues. Then when you come and I ask you, hey, what have you been eating? You're like, I eat a balanced diet. In fact, I don't even eat all the time. I just eat one meal a day. Oh, you eat one meal a day? What time? In the morning I just take some tea. At lunch I eat a fruit pudding, and then possibly in the evening I eat my supper. So so you are counting the meal that you only eat in the evening. All others are not meals, right? And then now you start growing that belly, you start having this arthritis and the chronic conditions, chronic tiredness and fatigue, and the weaknesses. That is one symptom of a modern man. Symptom number 2, of course, obesity is coming in. The modern man is fat. The modern man is even emotional. When you talk about the fat in him, he starts becoming so emotional. Again, number 3, modern man is a drug addict, food addict, alcohol addict. So the addictions, he's so addicted to foods and all this, and he cannot even be able to control his addictions. Number 3, of course, the mental health problems. Now you can see, even your favorite influencers are actually organizing mental health walk. Mental health walk. Hey, what that man has all these problems. And then this mental health, the system understood that you are so weak that you will believe that you have a mental health problem. I tell you all the time, you're not depressed. You just don't have a job. You just don't have money. You just don't have people who are actually motivating you to do better. You will even have higher estrogen as a man. So by the time you're saying I am depressed, I'm looking at the factors, I'm wondering, which depression is this? Depressed because you have high estrogen. Depressed because you've tried a weight loss program, it does not work, and you don't want to push yourself harder. Depressed because you lost a job. So the cause of depression is actually weird. Then you go and sit with a psychiatrist, and he's looking at you with a list of qualifications, and he reads the qualifications to you. Oh, number one. Oh, and you answer. The more you answer those 21 questions that come with the DSM, and then now he or she diagnoses you with psychiatry. Eh? Yeah, and now you have, I don't know, OCD, I don't know, ADHD, all these terms. They make them look so sweet so that you can actually accept them. Once you accept it, you become. Next thing is just a prescription after another, a prescription after another. Okay, so yes, you are depressed, you have mental health issues. These are modern men problems. Another one is, of course, the one that we are talking about tonight: infertility and erectile dysfunction. So as your woman is expecting you to pound her because you ate what she has taken the whole afternoon to plan in her head to cook, now you're here, you're snoring. Hey. And then you're creating excuses every single day. No, today the clients were, it was crazy. The job was, leo kazi imekuwa ngumu. I've tried, but I'm not in the mood, And then you become so hard, you become so tough. You want to become so angry. You're in the defensive mode so that your wife is scared and doesn't ask for her rights. But for how long? Women are so good at adapting. You will be angry today and tomorrow she's adapting to that anger. Now you'll be forced to be physical. Another symptom of a modern man. Very violent, very emotional, and mentally weak. But you don't want to accept it, do you? Another symptom, allergies and lack of sleep. Now you can imagine again the story that we just talked about. Now you don't have sleep. You're pretending to be sleeping. And yet you're so angry and you don't have sleep. You are suffering from insomnia. Eh? Problems after problems. So you can imagine now there's somebody just besides you who is angry because you've denied them their rights. And now you don't have sleep. It shall be a very long night. So infertility is coming in. Again, the allergies, you see them blowing their nose every time. The other day I was seeing a dental dental surgeon on a mainstream media channel. I was tagged in that video, and the guy was fat. It's about 9 in the morning, and the guy was busy blowing his nose. I'm like, daktari, hii yako haihusu mwili. It doesn't concern weight, just concern the teeth, right? We only fix the teeth, but not the obesity. Yeah? And then the worst of it all, the modern man is suffering from something that we call identity crisis. What is identity crisis? We've talked about identity before, right? And we said that women have some form of control over the man. They always want to control something. It's an inborn thing and it's nature that a woman will always want to control something. That's why they always ask those small questions here that are very irritating, and your answer will actually set you up. So the way you answer that question will either determine if that answer is gone, if that question is gone, or if it has opened up a conversation for other questions. Okay, so yeah, those questions that are called shit tests. Be very careful with them. You need to answer them anyway, anyhow. So you cannot run away from that. So identity crisis is a problem. So a woman has an inborn or an innate thing to control something. And apparently, as a woman grows older, gets married and all that, she only has one thing. She only has one thing to control. That is the man that she's having in her relationship or in her marriage. Now, a woman has two ways to control a man. One is through sex, and two is through the children. So look at it this way. Anytime you have sex with a woman, the end goal has to be an ejaculation. Sorry. Most men, the end goal for sex has to be an ejaculation. And up to now, men believe that ejaculation is the climax of sex. And we're going to talk about semen retention in relationship to reversing infertility in men, okay, and regaining your frame as a man. So, a woman tries to control you through sex, and that's why when you don't ejaculate, most women will ask you, have I satisfied you? Why did you not ejaculate? They'll actually create a scenario and tell you, possibly you had sex with another woman, and that's why you did not have satisfactory sex here. Now, to them, satisfactory sex is basically ejaculation. But men, every man knows that after ejaculation, you become so much of a zombie. It is a zombie mode after ejaculation. No conversations, no nothing, you just want to sleep. And by the way, ladies, this is a secret. You should take it to the bank. After that ejaculation, 98% of these men don't want you there. Meanza kuwaka moto. After that ejaculation, 98% of the men don't want you there. That's why that man sleeps like crazy. And then they say, sex is a sedative. It's not a sedative. It just drained all your efforts. So, because I'm married to this woman, I will tolerate her. Okay? So, I hope men can actually bear witness with this one. I can tolerate her. Okay? So, because we marry people who we can tolerate their nonsense. Okay? The least the nonsense, the better for me. So, I can actually tolerate that. So, now this is the point. So after the ejaculation, we don't want conversations. We just want our self-time because, we have spread the seed. Unfortunately, this seed that we are spreading is actually semen. There is no sperm in it because of the lifestyle that the modern man is living. So there's no sperm. It's just semen. Okay? So listen. So now after they have ejaculated and they have wasted the smallest or the little amount of seed that they had, they are so tired because again it was just a formality, because I believe in marriages sex is not fun, sex is a responsibility. So men in marriage, they will rather have sex as a responsibility so that they are not suspected. Okay, and that's how it gets boring. And again, look at the behavior of people on the traffic jams. You will easily see these two are married. Right? Because no conversations. One is busy focusing on the road, and the other one is busy on the phone or doing something else. So it is in the morning, but they have very, very staunch faces, and you're wondering, these guys come from the same house. But look at the man when he has a side chick in the car. Stories. He's even putting on music. Eh? Apparently, the millennials have just become Gen Z all of a sudden. Now you're putting on music you want to listen to. And it's all fun on the highway. But your wife, hey, you're wondering who you. So yeah, man, forgive me for today, but we will have to whip you hard because we say tonight we are whipping men. This will take long. So if you are unable to stand the truth, you can easily start logging out as quickly as this. Okay, but when you leave, I actually tag that friend who can be interested in this conversation. So after that ejaculation, men don't have the energy to actually have conversations. And apparently, a woman's nature is after this sex, she expects something from you. She expects good conversations and all that. And I don't want to go into these conversations, but the reality is that. So now, this man is sleeping because 1 minute, pop, I've deposited my seed. Now I'm comfortable. I want to sleep. Hey, so now, if you did not ejaculate, that's why semen retention disturbs women more than it disturbs men. If you did not ejaculate, you'll be held responsible. Why did you not ejaculate? Why are you this way? Why are you that way? All these questions will start confusing you, and that's the reason why most men just want to ejaculate. That's a problem. And this is what is leading to masturbation in most marriages anyway. Now, the other thing, if this woman is unable to control you through sex, the only thing she'll do is she'll try to turn the children against the man so that the man can give him the attention that she needs. Now, that is a natural way. Women have that thing inside them. They don't even know when they are doing it. Now, when you turn the children against the man, what is happening is the man is actually the earthly representation of God to the children. So the biological father is an earthly representation of God to the children. So when you turn them against the father, innocently, you just want the attention of the children so that the man can give you his ultimate attention. You're actually turning these children against God. And when you turn children against God, and this is deep, when you turn children against God, what is going to happen is these children will start adapting your identity. Because remember, a woman spends most of the time with the children. So when you spend a lot of time with the children, what is going to happen is you're going to impose your will on these children because you want that attention. When you impose this will on these children, they are actually adapting your identity. So now they are struggling with two identities, and most men are struggling with that. And therefore understand, for you to move from being a male to a man is a process. There's a process involved, and the first step in this process is you getting back your identity from your mother. And this is the hardest thing for men to do. Because men cannot even be able to face their mother. They are actually afraid or scared of their mothers. Men, we know this. Most men cannot face their mothers and tell their mothers, hey, no to this bullshit. This is the reason why you will see mothers coming into urban setups, settling with the man, and then becomes chaotic in the marriage. Now they are competing for even the front seat in the car. Now they're competing for all these things. And they are even competing for who knows how to cook best. For the son. And this man is there so weak with a pot belly. He's the chairman, but he cannot handle this situation. So he's so dominated, and because he still has the identity of the mother, he blames every other thing around him but himself. So anytime you find yourself arguing so much with women, you find yourself getting angry because anger is the nature of evil. So for you to get that evil and emotions out of you before even you fix your kitchen, you must learn the ability or the power of forgiveness. By this I mean, you must start by telling your mother, standing out to your mother and telling her, hey, excuse me, it has been enough. You've raised me to this guy who I am right now, an adult, and I want to forgive you, and I want you also to forgive me for resenting you. Because when she gives you her identity as she's raising you, you start to resent her. You start to resent her. And when you resent her, anything that you resent, you become. Whatever you resent, you become. Because if you start resenting something, you've handed over your power to them. When you hand over your power to me, I can easily use that power to control you. So that's where anger is coming from. And that's why you'll see all men being so chaotic. Men just having the need to get validation from external environment. So when you have that need to be validated by the external environment, it means from within you, you don't even have an identity. You're so inadequate from within. And this is where these things start from. So you might think that these issues of erectile dysfunction, these issues of chaos in marriages are actually just coming from you maybe picking the wrong woman. You did not pick the wrong woman. You attracted who you were. So all these things are actually hailing from a spiritual perspective before they even come to the physical perspective. Remember, health has three perspectives. One is the spiritual one, which is the major one. Before you fix anything, you have to fix the internal. And then next is the mental, because the spiritual controls the mental. And then now the physical follows the two. So when you're busy trying to fix the physical, when your mental and your spiritual is just messed up, you're wasting time. It is the same thing, you trying to paint your car with a new color so that it looks attractive, but it has a very old engine. So on the road, everybody will know, this car has problems. So when you start to resent your mother, you take her identity. When you have that identity, this is where depression is coming from. Because you see, as a man, if you have an identity of a woman, you're so chaotic, you have high estrogen levels, you are so emotional, and then you cannot take up the roles of a man. So you'll not be a provider, you'll not be a protector, and there is no leadership in you, because women naturally are born to follow. Men are born to lead, and that's why a woman asks you all those questions, because she thinks that you have the answers, and of course you need the answers, because she relies on you for the answers. And now she asks you one question and you get so mad. You're trying to run away from that question. You think that question will go away. It will not go away. It will just change the form and come back. Until you get to answer it, it will never go away. That's their nature. And the nature of a man is to provide for this woman as though she is your child, exclusively. And this begs for the question, men, when a woman is providing for you, how do you get sleep? How do you end up having sleep? Unalala aje? How do you end up getting sleep when a woman is providing for you exclusively? So you're actually adapting multiple identities as you grow up. And the most important identity is the one that you're adapting from your mother. So you have to take back that identity, because when that identity comes in you, it comes with emotions, it comes with chaos, because the role of a man is also to fix the chaos that are coming with women. So imagine a man with an identity of a woman, with all this chaos. And now what will happen is, from within, you are attracting people who have a feminine energy, because you have a feminine identity. Your identity was suppressed. And listen to this. This is where I get into the pastor mode. God does not talk or speak to people because God does not have a voice. His voice is a voiceless voice. Like, for example, have you ever taken some keys or a phone in your hand, then you forget you had the phone in your hand, and you start looking for that phone, and then some voice comes in you and tells you, hey, look at your hand. Then you get the hand and you find the phone. That voiceless voice is the same voice that God talks to people through. But God cannot communicate to somebody who has no identity. So you must have an identity for him to actually talk to you. That basically means how he talks to you is to reveal things through your own identity. So when your pastor is busy saying, God spoke to me, feminine or masculine voice, God does not speak to human beings. God reveals things to human beings through identities. So if you have a self-identity, now God will get emotions and chaos out of you, the anger and rage, because anger is the nature of evil. He gets it out of you. And then he fills you with love. And then now you can be able to love women around you and your children. And then when you love them, they respect and submit to you because now you're an adequate provider. You understand the hierarchy and the nature of God and the order of God. Once you understand that order, you will know you don't need to push a woman to go to work to come back and provide for you and share bills. That is where issues are coming from. That's where disrespect is coming from. But you'll never understand this because you think if I tell you to tell your mother, hey, I want you to forgive me for resenting you, you're thinking, no, I don't resent my mother. No, I don't. But you end up attracting women who are just as chaotic as your mother. But you don't know why that is happening. And now you continuously blame them. You continuously blame these women. But you see, you can have 5 women. 5 women, all of them, you've had 5 marriages divorced. But the constant factor in this marriage or in this relationship is you. K is constant and K is you as the man. So why are you blaming different women when the constant factor is not the women, it's you? This is where you have to take responsibility. And responsibility is taken when your testosterone level starts to rise. Now, when your testosterone level starts to go down, start to understand that that's where all these issues of infertility are coming in. That's when you start moving from being the man headed towards the male. So you're actually going backwards. And these are things that we need to teach these men so that we prevent this chaos. All the chaos that you are seeing all over is because of men becoming so weak. Men becoming so weak, thinking that women are the problem. But you see, women adapt to a man. And you attract who you are. So the energy that you have, that's why I told you, when I started my weight loss program or my weight loss journey, I started alone. I fixed myself. I lost the weight. And then through that, I ended up attracting people who had the same vision. And now it becomes easier because everybody who comes in my cycle has to be lean, has to understand fasting, has to be somebody who exercises, has to be somebody who actually advocates for the principles of health and wellness sport. Not just somebody who comes in like, I share this. No. You have to be disciplined, consistent, and patient because nothing comes with a snap. So immediately you get that attention, that identity of you. You get your own identity. Now God reveals to you things. So now everything you do, fear will be gone. Everything you do, there will be no anger and emotions. You will not get upset because somebody told you you are looking like a monkey. Because when you are full or when you're adequate from within, you have an identity. You don't care about the external validation. You don't get upset. Why would you get upset? And I tell people, when you get upset, it's not about somebody who said something about you. It's about you having an inadequacy that you don't want to accept and fix. So nobody has the ability to upset you. The reason why you're being upset is because you're suffering from identity crisis. And I told this is one of the symptoms of the modern man. And this has to be the top of the list of the modern man. So I had to clear that out. Now, I hope men in the building are listening to this, and I hope women, you can do this to tell your men, to start teaching your men the power of forgiveness. Because it's not easy. It's not easy. You can try every weight loss program. You can try every program to drop the addiction. You go into a rehab center where the government has made sure that all of you will be in one center. Crazy people in one center trying to manage craziness. Hello? Rehabs. All the crazy people in the world being in one center to try and So you're trying to fight drug addiction or alcohol addiction, and then you're put in a center where you have other addicts. Instead of them taking you from the environment that has addicts and putting you in an environment that has people who have different visions, they put you in an environment with other addicts, and then they load you with methadone. They load you with nicotine patches, the same drugs. Yes, I know how the process has to be followed. But why are they putting you in a place where you have the same identities? So that you feel comfortable in that space? Because misery loves company, so that when you see other drunkards, you're like, oh, I'm a better drunkard than this one. So yes, I'm better. It's like being clever in a class of fools. Ulikuwa number 1, darasa ya wajinga. So everybody is stupid here, but you're celebrating. I became the brightest fool. No, my friend. So they put you in a center where your energy is the same. And now you accept that identity. You're depressed. Okay, so now we take you for a rehab for depression. Now all of you are depressed here. Somebody is sitting in another corner. Another one is here trying to undress. Another one is there trying to do something else. And now you're looking around, you're wondering, why am I even here? And then 6 months down the line, you come out of a rehab center, you are so obese because of the side effects of the drugs that you're given in a rehab center. And then you relapse. And you're busy, your parents are busy thinking, this could be the genes. Just because the uncle is a drunkard, this could be hey, this is the devil trying to attack our family. It's not the devil, it's you people having zero identities, not understanding the power of forgiveness. So now you've just passed that fake identity to your children. And now they're suffering from identity crisis. And anytime they're trying to fight anything, it's not going away because they are so stuck in the rectum of your identity. So mothers, please start teaching your children early about forgiveness. You're the ones who take children to church. Every Sunday, you're holding your children to church. You're teaching them something you don't know. You're teaching them about God, but you don't know God. You don't know God. Most of you, how many of you, and I'll ask this question, how many of you know God versus how many of you know about God? How many? How many of us know God? And how many of us know about God? I know when I ask that question, everybody tells me, I know God. Then I ask you, do you ever get angry? They're like, are you asking, they start running away. Are you asking of if I have anger issues? I did not ask you if you have anger issues. I asked you, do you get angry? Do you ever shout at your children? Do you ever overpunish your children because of the emotions that you are harboring inside? That is actually you imposing your identity on them. And when you impose your identity on them, they are unable to move because anything they are doing, they are actually afraid of you. And you see, fear is the nature of evil. They are afraid of you, so they have to do things that will actually please you. Even in their adulthood. So most women are so angry. They are walking so out here, very angry, just waiting for somebody to poke them so that they can erupt. But ask them if they get angry. They're like, I don't have anger issues. No, mommy, the question is, do you get angry? Just yes or no. If you get angry, you don't know nothing about God. You know about him because you've heard about him, you've read about him, you're actually thinking he's a human being. No. Most of you know about God and you want to teach your children God, but you don't know God, you know about him. So you're actually regurgitating. And this is the same thing that is happening even in the medical syllabus. We just regurgitate what we've been taught. Regurgitate. We are even afraid to ask the questions. And that's why most of you keep asking me, are you not afraid of the big pharma? I'm like, listen, I knew God before I knew medicine. Okay? So yes. So once you do that, once you impose your identity on them, they're unable to do anything. They become like you because they resent you. And when they become like you, they attract you. So when they're trying to run away from you every time because they're resenting you, they end up attracting people who are like you in their lives. Now, problems after problems. And guess what? Instead of them taking responsibility, they'll keep on blaming other people. So yes, I thought that should be cleared so that we get to understand that the spiritual world is actually very important when you're trying to fix spiritual things. Look at men getting masturbation addiction every single day. And look at the same men trying to put up research on the internet to talk about the benefits of masturbation. Look at how men have become so weak that they are thinking that a vasectomy is enough. Just a vasectomy is enough to actually handle their sexual urges. So a man thinks, I have to ejaculate anyway. So while the only way that I have to do this thing is to get a vasectomy. Look at men pushing their women into hormonal contraceptives because they cannot hold their sexual desires. Well, anyway, so this topic is actually spiked or is actually triggered by the number of couples that are coming into hospitals in my setup to ask me about fertility issues and how to get pregnant, and they've been trying so hard. Wanaume wametoboa mattress na the bigger toe of the leg. Yeah, you're forcing every night, you're ejaculating, trying to find a child. By the way, did you know that the more you ejaculate, the lesser the chances of you making that woman pregnant? That's why when you're new in marriage, you're trying to get a baby and nothing is happening because you ejaculate every night thinking that now, I'm the super guy. I'm just coming. I just want to make her pregnant. There's no child that is coming forth. And then when you just give up and relax, boom, pregnancy. Yeah, the moment you take a week or so without having sex and then now you decide, okay, boom, pregnancy. But that week that you've been working so hard, every single day you're proving a point. You're missing it. Because you're just ejaculating semen, no sperm, semen. A lot of semen. You tell us, I come a lot, I have a lot of semen. Okay, you have a lot of sperm. No, sperm and semen are different. So this topic is also inspired by a lot of men who are losing hair, and now they are justifying hair loss. You've seen that in songs. You've seen that men talking about baldness with a lot of confidence. You've seen that. And then now we are normalizing baldness to be the sexy new look. You've seen adolescents all over having sex every single day, and then they are flagging into my inbox asking me for pills for abortion. And I tell them, hey, there's a radio station that announces a hospital that actually advertises abortion every single day. Please go check out. I'm not in that business. I work under a Hippocratic oath. And you can see all their comments, and then they become so angry. When you tell them the truth, like, listen, I'm not doing this and that's nonsense. You have to take responsibility of what you just did. Guess what? They flip instantly. So angry. Like it was a must. I should get that kid out of your woman's womb. I mean, I did not put it there. You put it there. Why don't you just do it yourself? You understand this? So every single time, adolescents, teenagers, getting women, this lady is pregnant, and they are unable to stand the responsibility that comes with that, because the reality is, if you ejaculate, the reason why ejaculation is there is because it was designed to make a woman pregnant. So if you ejaculate, you have to take responsibility, whether you like it or not. It doesn't matter. You will be lucky if that woman doesn't get pregnant. And that's why most men are actually, most males, let me call them more males, the modern man, they are lucky because they ejaculate a lot of semen without sperm. So you end up getting lucky, not making that woman pregnant. Okay? So you ask yourself, why do animals have a mating season? And why is it that human beings have made sex to be a recreational move? It's now fun more than it's procreational. But you see, if you observe animal behavior, you start learning a lot of things from it. Because one, when, let's say, this is a mating season for dogs, they will mate perfectly, and then after that, they will not mate again until the next season. Are you connecting that to semen retention? Hello? Are we connecting that to semen retention? And that's why dogs never miss. They just hit and boom. And you here, ejaculating every single night, trying to make a woman who is totally fertile, trying to make her pregnant. Nothing is happening. And then even after that one pregnancy, now you put her on hormonal contraceptives so that you can continuously ejaculate every night. You're forgetting as a man, the responsibility of this woman is going to come back to you. The health responsibility that are coming with those hormonal contraceptives that are coming with the NGOs are actually going to settle on you. How much are you making that will help you actually treat her cancer and the side effects of the chemotherapy? How much are you earning? If people who have the money are still dying from cancer, you've seen it, right? Just the other week, it's actually this week, somebody has died from cancer. And may his soul rest in peace. Now, he has money. He had money, let me say that. How much do you have that will help you treat the cancer in your wife or in your children? So why are you putting your women on hormonal contraceptives when you know the disadvantage that will come with that? Now that you have this idea, now that you have this information, use it. You don't have to ejaculate every time you have sex. Semen retention is actually a very good thing. And actually, it powers your testosterone. You see, a man is powered by testosterone. Anything that is happening in the modern man, what we call the modern man, and I've just defined who a modern man is. Everything that is happening there is because of low testosterone. Look at the statistics from 1970s all the way to about 2013, thereabout. 50% of sperm count gone. 50%. So a man in the 1970s had a 70% chance to make a woman pregnant, and now possibly a 15 to 20% chance. Then they used to ejaculate how many times? Now, how many times do you ejaculate? So you've increased the amount of ejaculation, the numbers or the frequency of ejaculation, but you've reduced your chances of making a woman pregnant. And these are the factors that actually cause low sperm count in men and infertility. One, of course, is hormonal imbalance. Basically, low testosterone in comparison to estrogen. And we've talked about estrogen dominance before in women. But again, this is the same thing that is happening in the modern man. So the modern man is drinking alcohol every single weekend. It's Friday. People are going to drink alcohol. And you want to buy a 1 liter a bottle of alcohol and just guzzle it all. Because of course you're the chairman. So one, men are drinking alcohol, beer, every single day without understanding that beer is going to be converted to fat in your liver and cause your fatty liver. And that fatty liver is actually going to make sure that your testosterone levels are going down every single day. That fatty liver is going to give you the metabolic syndrome, the diabetes, hypertension, obesity. And the more fat you are, the more you convert your hormone testosterone to estrogen. So the weaker you become, the more feminine you become. Now look at men with the man boobs. Look at men with hips. Look at men with these pot bellies, fat accumulating everywhere. Look at men with very thick thighs. Nowadays they are saving lives, right? Yeah. Look at a man just waiting to be just provoked to just shout and erupt. Somebody has put up a challenge question. Do you know God or do you know about God? This is awesome. This is just an awesome challenge. Thank you for doing that. And I hope people can answer that so they can know. Do you know God or do you know about God? So yes, number one on the list is hormonal imbalance. Number two on the list, of course, is exposure to the environmental harms, like the toxins, like the GMO foods, like the chemicals in plastics, like the skin lightening products. Now you see men doing skin lightening products. And now you're wondering why we have more women than men. I mean, more women. When I'm the alphabet, every man just being converted to being a woman, and the hey. Yeah, and then we blame it on genetics, right? Genetics, no, is in the genes. The father was feminine. You know, in our family, we have feminine people. Well. The diets that we are eating nowadays, sugar everywhere, carbohydrates every single place, and you're expecting to have testosterone. We walk into the gym, men are taking soda. Men are taking bananas in the gym. Men are training about 5 minutes and taking videos and photos the next 1 hour. Men taking videos, they are live on TikTok and they're in the gym. And these are the men that you expect women to submit to and respect. Is it going to make sense? Good. There are other factors also, the medical conditions. This one is actually, you can actually avoid the medical conditions that actually cause infertility. One of the conditions is varicocele. That one you can actually go for surgery and it's corrected. So that one you can handle it there. But infections like syphilis and gonorrhea, there was that media house that was trending for the syphilis. You remember it? And my media people, women in the media, hey, yeah, well, you need a lot of guts to be a media person and be in a line, streamline line. Just look at the life of the media people. It's just crazy. The mainstream media is full of alcohol, sex, and all these parties and orgies and all that. It's just crazy there. So it's for a woman to be in the media industry. Nowadays, I think men are saying, hey, if you're in the media, you just go and do that. Do you? Me, upon what media? So things like GMO foods that we eat in fruits. Nowadays, we have even glyphosate coming from Meru through the Mira, right? The pesticides and the herbicides that are being sprayed on this Mira. Even the cabbages that we eat in Nairobi and the sukuma wiki that we eat in Nairobi, they are sprayed with chemicals. So we have a lot of exposure to chemicals. We have phthalates that are coming in with the plastic bottles that we take water through. Every single day you're carrying a plastic container, drinking water from it, thinking that you're rehydrating, but simply you're getting microplastics in it. These are things that actually disrupt your hormone balance. They are called endocrine disruptors. Okay? And then, of course, we cannot forget medicines. The big pharma. The big pharma is actually playing a big role in this. And I don't think the agenda is to actually change your life for the better. The agenda is actually to make you more weak. I can't remember the last time I took medicine. I can't. Imagine I can't. Not even a drug for headache. Paracetamol. But look at my journey back then. I used to have all these drugs, the antihistamines, because I was having 4 handkerchiefs popping my nose every other time and blaming it on every other person. But I was fat. So medicines like statins, we've talked about statins before, right? These are drugs that lower cholesterol. Now listen, testosterone comes from cholesterol. Men, anytime you eat a low-fat diet, you are actually exposing yourself to problems. Because a low-fat diet means you're not going to take in enough fat. That fat is the one that is providing you with testosterone, because testosterone is a hormone that comes from cholesterol. So the higher the levels of cholesterol, sometimes when you come with the cholesterol tests and I see, oh, you HDL and LDL are misbehaving, I'm just, okay, are they high? Yes, I clap for you. Why? Because the higher the cholesterol levels, the better your masculinity, the better your testosterone. Because cholesterol has never been a problem. You actually blame cholesterol for what sugar cost you, and sugar is actually causing you the problems with erection. So imagine you have avoided cholesterol foods, but you still ended up having infertility. You still ended up having low erections, very weak erections, but you still blame cholesterol. But you've not been eating cholesterol, so why are you blaming it? You've been eating seed oils that are 0% cholesterol. And then how did you end up getting these erection issues? Why are you blaming fatty meats? Nowadays, and men, I would just want you to just take a 48-hour fast or beyond. And then count how many erections you'll have during that period of time. Fasting is tremendous. Nowadays, men are experiencing possibly one erection in a day and in the morning, and it's a weak erection still. And men know the toughest thing or the most annoying thing is not even having that erection, is having a half erection, and then immediately you get into a woman's organs, it starts to come back. Immediately you get into that organ, that your penis starts to retract. There is nothing shameful and annoying as that, and men can bear witness. You'd rather have no erection at all than have a half erection, and then we just do that. Oh, hey, brother Bernard. Brother Bernard. Anyway, this is the health and wellness pod. We put it out the way it is, and this is Dr. Lewis. So yes, if you've not been on my YouTube channel, it's Health and Wellness Pod, go there and subscribe to that YouTube channel. It's an interesting channel. Also use my contacts that I've just pinned on YouTube for your physical consultation, for your online consultations. This is where we roll conversations. We don't even call it a consultation as such because it's an hour of conversations and you'll benefit from it tremendously. So use that contact to actually book an appointment with us so that we can have conversation. Use the same contact to book for the weight loss program that is coming up from the 15th of this month. That is basically Monday for the 2 months, okay? Yes. I have also a Telegram channel that is called Health and Wellness Sport. Please go there and join in. Let's have those conversations there. It's a channel that actually will motivate you and will act as your support group when you're trying to lead a healthy life, okay? Good. So stay tuned as we continue with this. Let me read some comments here for some people. Shiro Chef is saying, I'm feeling attacked. No, I'm not attacking anybody. I'm just being realistic. And I know these things you can relate to. And I believe most of us have gone through these things. Okay? Yeah. So you don't need to be to feel attacked. Glad to be here and learn. Thank you so much. That is Kevo Mitnik. I used to work with 13 handkerchiefs. This is Joab Obog. Hey, 13 handkerchiefs. Yeah. Yeah. And women really suffer. Women are suffering. But anyway, we move. Peter Kure is saying, wacha kufichua siri bana. Hey, my friend, if you were me, you'd do the same. You do the same to save a man. Good. Hey, who else? This man is so on point. It's a blessing knowing you. That is Kekeli Kafui. Thank you so much, Kekeli. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Good. So if you've been here, you've known already the factors that actually lead to a low sperm count. But these are basically just maybe a snippet. One, phthalates. Where are we getting phthalates from? We are getting it from the plastics. We are getting it from the body lotions. We are getting it from these products that we use to lighten the skin. So read the ingredients. If you see anything that is phthalates in nature, PTH, please run away from it. If you see the parabens, run away from it. This topic, I need some whiskey to narrate us to. Yeah, hey, thank God you can take a whiskey as a woman. If you're a man and you're trying to take whiskey, I'm like, hey, alcohol is highly estrogenic, please stay away. Yeah, and men cannot stand this, but again, there are men who can actually stand this type of conversation and they want to change their lives for the better. So we are doing this for them. We're not doing this for the weak ones who still want to stay in the rectum of the matrix and still complain about how each and every environmental factor is affecting them, but they don't want to fix themselves. So we are here for those who want to fix themselves, okay? So yes, number one is phthalates. Number two is, of course, estrogen. Where are we getting estrogen from? We're getting estrogen from sugar, from the wheat products, from GMO foods, the fruits, the honeys, and all that. We are getting it from the pesticides and the herbicides that are being sprayed to our foods. We are getting it also from basically the estrogen disruptors. Even the microplastics are actually part of the estrogen, the hormonal disruptors, right? Good. Number three, of course, the largest part here is the insulin resistance. And where are we getting insulin resistance from? We are getting it from the carbohydrate-rich diets, the simple carbohydrates, the breads, the rice, the sugars, the snacking. All these processed foods that don't have any nutrients are going to spike your insulin, and those spikes will cause you insulin resistance, and that is number one on the list of your problems with high estrogen in the system. Of course, don't forget to add alcohol on that list. And above all, the soy products, soya beans, soy protein shakes in the gym, soy this, soy that, soy milk, all those things are actually going to bring estrogen. And this is actually a problem to the plant-based, I think is plant-based proteins, right? The cereals and all that. Plants log phytoestrogens in their seeds to make sure that the insects, the humans, and the animals are sterilized, the male are sterilized, so that these plants can survive. So it's a natural instinct. So they gorge their seeds with estrogen, the phytoestrogen, and this will actually top up on your estrogen levels as a man. So you cannot afford to feed yourself on estrogen when you already have estrogen in the system. You need to lower the estrogen so that you can boost testosterone. And how do you boost testosterone? You stop feeding estrogen first. Once you stop feeding estrogen, now you can exercise things that will actually boost your testosterone. This is basically the exercise. Some people should do the Kegels to just strengthen the pelvic floor muscles, the hip thrust. You simply push the hip thrust, and then you hold for some seconds, and then you release. And then push again and hold for some seconds and release. Don't go to the gym and you're busy hip thrusting so fast. No, learn the technique also. Okay? And that's why you should look for a fit trainer. Don't go to the gym and you're using this fat guy who is just binging himself on steroids and on the protein shakes, eating bananas and eating a whole bunch of ugali, and then comes to train you. Don't do that. You easily can find this information out there from people who understand. So look at your trainer. If they are fit, if they are fit, train with them. If they are not, asanteni kwa kuja. Cold showers are a boost of testosterone. The sun, we talk about sunning balls every day, and people think it's a joke. The sun is a powerful testosterone booster. Sleep is there. Healthy diets are there. Very low in sugars and carbohydrates. Eat fatty meats so that you can get the cholesterol that will be used to produce testosterone. When you get the testosterone, all these things change for the better. Somebody is asking me a question here, and I hope you can answer this question. Can one make kefir yogurt from processed milk? I think that question will be answered by people on my YouTube. Can you make kefir or fermented kefir? They call it fermented kefir, or they call it just kefir. It's fermented milk and the kefir grains. Can you make that using processed milk, the packet milk, pasteurized milk? Can you? This one must be new here. We will allow him to be new here. So let's give you some time. Anyway, let's talk about this thing called semen retention as we try and conclude this, because I want to talk about the semen retention, but let me talk about it the last part, because this will be part of the solutions of infertility, of hormonal imbalance in men, of erectile dysfunction and issues in men. This is actually a proper solution. This is also a solution for issues with mental health and basically physical health in general, because when you retain the semen, you actually retain the power. Now listen to this, man. The sexual desire in a man is one of the most powerful, if not the powerful source, or the powerful energy in a man. This is the reason why when a man is just thinking with the second head, everything else stops to make sense. It comes to a standstill. And the only thing on their head is the sex, the ejaculation to be specific. Now, the reason why men are having problems with erection and with all these issues with fertility, on top of the list is masturbation. I just told you, if you go on Google and try to search masturbation and the negative effects of masturbation, it simply takes you back to the positive effects of masturbation, because the Western world has designed these things to make the man weak, sick, and so depressed, so that you become a slave to their agenda. That society is also making our women so chaotic, problematic, and sick. So that every resource that you're trying to make simply gets back to them through the women. That's why you have those hormonal contraceptives everywhere. Now, women, birth control is in the hands of the men. That's the reason why this topic is coming in handy. We are saying men are the carriers of the seed. So it is so useless for you to go ahead and take a hormonal contraceptive to please a man who wants to ejaculate every single night. If your man takes you to go and have that implant or that those pills, he actually buys those pills for you. And on rare occasions, do men do that because they don't know, they just want to ejaculate. Women take the responsibility anyway. So, listen, when vasectomy was being introduced, so many men fought it, but now they are adapting to it. They want it. There was a hormonal contraceptive that was introduced that was called Gossipol. This is a hormonal contraceptive for men. How many of you ever had your man going for a hormonal contraceptive? Hey, men cannot take that nonsense. They can't. But the males, instead of them going to take that, because it's their responsibility, they're actually the ones who make the woman pregnant. What they do is they actually take the women to take these contraceptives. So I wonder, why don't you just do it? Like, if you really want to ejaculate every night, you go ahead and chop off your balls. Waweru Peter sends us 200 shillings on Super Chat. Pokea hii sadaka. Thank you so much, Waweru. I appreciate you for that. Thank you for the Super Chats. So, masturbation is actually becoming so rampant, and I already explained where we are getting it from. We're getting it from the identity crisis, lacking the identity, because when you don't have an identity, even if you try to fix it, you will not succeed. You must get your identity before you start to fix some other things. You'll get the help you need, yes, but you still relapse. And even most married women, married men, are actually masturbating after sex. You still have sex with the woman in bed. You don't satisfy her, but you run to the bathroom to just have an ejaculation there. Yeah? And masturbation is becoming just a serious problem. And I think we should run a whole live on masturbation and how to just fight it. But those of you who already understood the identity thing, you can actually start fixing yourself through that identity before we even talk about that masturbation thing. So start by fixing your identity, then allow us to talk to you about how to fix masturbation. Because even if you come to us to talk to you about masturbation and how to win the battle against masturbation, we will start by that identity crisis thing before we start moving towards the physical things to do. Now, these are some of the things that the solutions that you can do when you're suffering from this problem. Number one is semen retention, that I will talk about as the last part on this one. But number two is healthy lifestyles. When I talk about healthy lifestyles, I'm talking about diets, I'm talking about exercise, I'm talking about enjoying fresh air. Now, I'm also talking about you just going out, walking barefoot and enjoying nature. You know, some of you are so mean. You're thinking tomorrow, you're thinking that, you know, until I get this amount of money, that's when I start to enjoy my life. You can't even buy yourself a shoe just because you're selling insurance policy. So until you get that person who will sell the policy successful to, you cannot buy yourself a shoe. You are so stingy. Buy yourself a shoe. You can be stingy to other people, but don't be stingy to yourself. Buy yourself a good shirt. Go out and eat that steak, roasted meat, fatty meat. Enjoy it once in a while. Go and visit the forests. Go and watch wildlife. Enjoy yourself. At least breathe, have fresh air. Create a network of people who will actually encourage you to do better, who will challenge you, not those who call you chairman. Be in the network of people that you call chairman, who will challenge you, okay, in terms of masculine stuff and in terms of all this. So join a masculine network so that you can actually improve your energy. And so I'm talking about diets on healthy lifestyle. I'm talking about exercise. So go to the gym at least 3 to 4 times in a week and rest, because rest is part of this process. Sleeping is very important. At least 6 to 8 hours of sleep will help you stabilize your hormones. It will help you lower cortisol. And when you lower cortisol, your testosterone goes up. We need it. Start fasting. A man who doesn't fast is a waste of time. A man who eats 5 meals a day and still snacks in between and still drinks alcohol. Ladies, you're choosing the wrong one for the 13th time. Man should fast. Fasting is very necessary for men. Fasting, exercise, sleeping, taking cold showers, chasing a purpose. A man who is not sexually oriented, always just thinking about sex every time. No, we cannot do that. And when I'm talking about exercise, morning exercises are the best. Working out in the morning is super awesome because in the morning, your glucose levels are going up. So therefore, there's a lot of energy in your system. Number two, the growth hormone is actually going up because it's preparing you for the new day. So exercise in the morning. Go and lift weights in the morning. So that when you imagine you squatting in the gym in the morning and then somebody upsetting you through the day. It's not possible. On a traffic jam, somebody upsetting you on a traffic jam when you just had your squats in the morning. It's very difficult. So through that, the gym has to teach you some lessons. Okay? And you don't need to train in a group. You can train alone. Just go to the gym in the morning when people are still sleeping and lift those weights. Do a morning run at least once in a week. Go enjoy the sun to stabilize your testosterone and boost it. Eat meat, the fatty meats, enjoy them. And then every time you have the smallest wins, celebrate them in a big way. I'm not saying go and pop alcohol. No, I'm telling you, go and eat that steak. And ukule ile nyama choma so that it can actually encourage you to even do even better. Practice things like meditation. Before you go to bed, just simply soak in. Because again, meditation helps you to control your sexual desires and urges. So it's very difficult for you to start practicing semen retention without fixing this. So imagine, imagine a man who cannot control the things that are going through his mouth. He cannot control even the frequency of the things that go through his mouth. So he eats every time. Anything he gets, he wants. Mahamri passes, he wants the mahamri. This one here, he wants. Sausages are here, he wants. Is these guys who passing with the mahindi choma, he wants it. The mahindi boil, he wants. Ground nuts, he's there. He's in all parties drinking alcohol. Each type of alcohol, he wants to taste everything. This is a man you're trying to tell to retain his semen. Oh, yeah? You're preaching the gospel of semen retention to a man who cannot, who cannot resist food. The food that is going through the mouth. How will he resist the second head? Any man who can control his stomach desires, now you can start preaching to them about semen retention. So this topic of semen retention is reserved for the men who have tried to fix their healthy lifestyle already. They are leading a healthy life already. They are fasting, they are eating healthy, they are sleeping early, they are waking up early and training, they are taking cold showers, they are enjoying the sun intentionally, they are rewarding themselves, they are playing their roles as men. After that, now you can start thinking about semen retention. So you cannot ask a man who has been ejaculating the whole year, every day, ejaculating semen, and you're asking him, hey bro, no. Now because we are unable to make me pregnant, it's time for us to at least practice this thing that is called semen retention. My friend, he will get chaotic, he will actually get emotional, he'll just tell you, hey, so now, this doctor that you're listening to every night, Sitaki kuona YouTube kwa TV. I'm the one who bought this TV. That doctor is taking you in a cult. Or you choose to get married to that doctor. Hey. Now Dr. Lewis, amechukiwa tu kwa sitting room yenu. I'm busy doing my thing here, just trying to change the men. But the same males are actually coming after me. I'm like, where? Uko TikTok mpaka saa 7 usiku unasikiza huyo jamaa, sio? That guy is the one who is actually making you and is the one who is making me not to ejaculate. Hey. And man, ejaculation and orgasm are very different things. They are very different things. So every time you think about having sex and satisfactory sex, hold back the ejaculation. Hold back the ejaculation. It is not necessary. It was designed. The ejaculation is when you just release the sperm and the semen. That is a useless move if you don't want to make a woman pregnant. Now you'll hear men saying, you know, that's the climax of sex. That's the time you're holding on to a woman so close and so tight. You're holding on that close and that tight and you expect to retain the semen. It's not possible. No. You have to become aware, and meditation teaches you how to become self-aware and how to resist sexual urges. Find a distraction, even when you're having the sexual process. Just find a distraction. Maybe groundnuts, a snack, you can walk out. It's not a must that when you start sex you have to finish it. No, you can pause and do something else and then come back. Rehydrate with salt and water. Go even stand in front of a fan if you have one in your house, so that you can distract your mind a little bit and then come back. And then For you to actually, because this is a skill, for you to actually perfect it, you must learn through the process. You must go through the process. This one can actually start from the pull-out game. So unless you perfect the pull-out game, hii itabaki kuwa scam. Ati leo nataka ni, unajua I've been ejaculating all year, now leo I'm going to retain. Oi. Na hii weather ya July. Uongo. Uongo. So for you to do this, you must learn into, you have to grow into it. Start by meditation so that you become self-aware. You start having the ability to fight the sexual urges. Start by reading masculine books and some of these spiritual books that will actually open up your mind to spirituality and all that. This is after you getting the identity and fixing your life, okay? And then now you start the meditation, you develop the zeal to understand how sexual energy functions. And you will realize most men who don't ejaculate all the time are the ones who succeed in life. Why? Because the energy, I told you about sexual energy transmutation, right? Men convert their sexual energy into the ability to change things, to make things happen for themselves. So until you get to learn the skill of retaining the semen and just having sex without having you can have the orgasm. Actually, remember, when it's coming out, when the sperm is coming out of the semen, you will feel it. That's an orgasm. When it goes back, you'll feel it. So that's a double orgasm. But when it goes out, that's an ejaculation. Weak man. Weak man. This is the time you give out your title deeds and all that. You give the fake promises that you will not remember a minute down the line. So you actually set yourself up. So don't do that. Hold back the ejaculation. And this will make sure that, one, you get to enjoy the sexual process. Number two, you will not treat your woman as a sex object. Okay? You will not look at her as a sex object, because most of us actually think women are sex objects. You just get in and ejaculate and bas, I want to sleep now. So you're actually going there to look for sleep. Yeah? You're going there to look for diazepam, to just sleep. So don't do that. At least go there with the intention of just having this moment, enjoying the woman, having conversations and all that, and pounding her to satisfaction. Now remember, as she gets her orgasm, well done. You're vindicated. But if you ejaculate and she has no orgasm, my friend, you'll be labeled the 1 minute man. Then you'll come here trying to complain, all these things. No, don't complain. Simply fix what you have to do. So meditation is one of the on the list of things that you can do when you're trying to take control over sexual urges and you're trying to retain the semen. Number two, of course, is the pull-out game. Start by that, and then perfect slowly as you come. And you'll realize, when you're trying to perfect the pull-out game, you'll realize ejaculation was not as important as it is. Because most of us think ejaculating in a vagina is the best thing. Now, this is the time you tell your children to go and sleep. I don't want cases tomorrow, okay? So, ejaculating in that organ is not as fancy as you think it is. The orgasm is the good feeling, but the ejaculation is not as fancy as you think it is. Why? Because it will set you up as a man. One, if you're a 1 minute man, if you ejaculate, end of story. Two, most of the men have become, they are bored with their women. So sex is a responsibility, as I said. Most people who have had sex for the longest period of time, you can have sex for 10 years. So you can imagine having sex for 10 years, and then this woman is still here, still wants an orgasm. And you see, women have a threshold. So when you have sex with her for an hour, in her head, the threshold is 1 hour. Ole wako, tomorrow you do 50 minutes. She'll ask you, kwani umefanya sex na nani? Umetoka wapi? Kwa hao wanawake wako? A very tricky question. Because you set a climax in her head for 1 hour. Now it's up to you to beat that climax every single day. It's your problem. So if you set the bar so high, you will have to retain that semen, whether you like it or not. Because if you ejaculate and you will not hit that note, problems. And then if this woman ever gets a man who hits that note and goes above, that marriage, because women can only handle one man in their head. They give attention to one man. They can handle multiple men physically, but in their head, they're giving attention to one man. So you can be there banging her and pushing all this energy in her, but in her head, she's having that guy. That guy who beat your record. The new Kipchoge in the building. This is the same thing that is happening to men also. Because marriage sex has become so boring and you don't want to retain your semen, you're just ejaculating aimlessly, you end up ejaculating with another woman in your head. So yes, you're having sex with this one, but this one is a sex toy. This one is just an object for sex. In your head, that woman in the office who was crossing her legs and you saw the thigh. That's the one who is dominating your head. But because you cannot get to her, you're using this one. So most men are actually having sex with a woman and ejaculating with another woman in their head. Hello? I need water. I need water. But anyway, let's go back to us trying to retain the semen. Start by meditation, start by perfecting the pull-out game, and then graduate to the exercises. The Kegel exercises, the hip thrust to strengthen the muscles. Remember, the muscle that connects the ejaculation muscles comes from the rectum also. It's connected to the rectum. Okay? That's why most people think, and there was this word that's going around, that men's orgasm or the G-spot for men is in the rectum. And women were busy pushing their fingers into the rectum of men to just wear them off, because when they touch, hey, lakini women, vitu mnafanya. Things that you do. Anyway, so so you go to the gym and do strength training. Go and squat, go and lift weights. Don't go and run on a treadmill. You're just topping up on your estrogen levels. Don't go and skip, and don't go and some men like this guy from South Africa who is always squatting. They call him the squat master or something. And men are actually using his videos to squat. Literally. Seriously? You're in the gym and you put on your headphones and you're playing his videos and you're busy trying to squat. What? Hey. So go to the gym and squat. Go to the gym and do the Kegel exercises. You can even do the Kegel exercises in your house. You don't have to go to the gym in the morning. Right? Go and do the hip thrust. Push that weight and hold so that the muscles, the ejaculation muscles are strengthened. Now you have control over ejaculation. Okay? Yeah. Another one. Of course, that thing that you call holding back is what you call the edging. So you practice edging. So when the sperm is coming or the semen is coming, as it gets to near out, you hold back. You distract yourself. You can do something else. Just distract yourself so that your mind gets out of the organ. Because a simple distraction for a man, actually the sex process can get over. Now, this semen retention is going to help people who are 1 minute men, those who are labeled 1 minute men. And ladies, understand that a man can have sex for 28 seconds and he's satisfied totally. 28 seconds. Just pop, pop, and please, now pack your things and go. It's very possible. So as you label the men 1 minute man, we also want to scrutinize you. How far are you in this game? Story for another day. And then combine it with healthy lifestyle. So of course, meditation, exercise, aging, and then healthy lifestyles. The one that we just mentioned, the diet, the exercise also, and all that. And then a distraction. So that's how you start practicing semen retention. And you grow into it slowly but carefully. And when you pull one move, just the same way you pull a move on the pull-out game, and you feel so good about it, the moment you pull a move and get the double orgasm from this, and then you pull the next one and you get a double orgasm from it, my friend, you will simply become a beast in this thing. You will become a beast. Anne Machara is saying some men immediately they start, they finish. You're just like, but you see, Anne, you cannot blame the man, because the man was designed to just spread the seed. Spread the seed. So in 28 seconds, pop, this man is satisfied and he doesn't care. That's why you'll hear most men saying a woman's organism is not important. Do you think so? Do you think a woman's orgasm is not important? That's a topic for another day. But do you think a woman's orgasm is important? If a man can ejaculate in 28 seconds, that means a woman, you have to make sure that by the 14th second, you're already prepared to finish. Because if you don't finish, this one until tomorrow. If at all God gives me grace, tomorrow we can do it again. We can have another 28 seconds. So start setting your mind earlier, so that your expectations are not in the air. Because again, when you expect a lot of things from people, you'll get hurt. Because you expecting things from people, it means from inside you're also inadequate. So you're actually trying to think that people will feel your inadequacies. So don't expect things from people. Good. So men have become so important before even getting old. Young boys are becoming, they're having erectile dysfunction, they're becoming impotent, and you're wondering what is happening. But of course, they know they're eating so much unhealthy foods. Eating a lot of unhealthy foods. They're having a lot of, and there's this thing called that the anxiety during sex. There are men who get anxiety, super anxiety before sex. A man gets so anxious because of the need to perform. Now, this happens to the new catch. So you have this anxiety to perform and prove a point to her, my friend. And because you've had these chats here and there and all that, so she has made sure that she portrays an image of this beast in bed, so she can pull that beast mode. Now you start wondering, hey, this one, I've not experienced this one. Yeah? Now you get there, the anxiety is going up. When you get that anxiety, understand, please understand that this is a time for you to actually hold your ejaculation. This is a time that you can actually take more time on the foreplay than you take time inside that organ. Because during that anxiety period, one, you might end up losing an erection, or two, you might get in and boom, 28 seconds, we are done. Now, semen retention, somebody is actually telling me here, this is Andre, but it will lead to wet dreams. Yes, there's nothing, there's nothing wrong with wet dreams. Wet dreams happen to people who retain semen once in a while. There's no problem with that. That's a natural occurrence. You cannot stop it. But there are people who tell you that if you retain semen, you will end up having prostate cancer. That is the most stupid idea ever. This is the idea from the West, that they are encouraging African men to ejaculate every single day so that they become weak and they can be dominated, so that they can indoctrinate you with this agenda of vasectomy, hormonal contraceptives. They can bring their issues here of the alphabet. Men can have sex, get an orgasm, get satisfaction without having to ejaculate. Now, when you retain that semen, sperm is basically 80% protein. It will be absorbed back into the system. So there's no single way. You'll actually be retaining the energy and the seed. So there's no single way your testicles will burst because you have a lot of semen or a lot of sperm. No. I've heard that story. Oh, if we don't ejaculate, my testicles starts to hurt because they are full. Aye, well. Oh, I'll get prostate cancer. The studies are saying I have to ejaculate 21 times in a month. Ooh. Which studies? You can ejaculate every single day if you want to. That's the reason why you are addicted to masturbation. Because the only reason why men masturbate is because of the aimless need to ejaculate. If you get ejaculation out of masturbation, no man will masturbate. All of them are busy trying to use that image or that video to just get an ejaculation. So the only reason why you're masturbating is because you cannot handle your need or your aimless need to ejaculate. And then after an ejaculation, you know what happens. The guilt comes in, and now the swearing comes in. I'm not going to do this again, and all that. But go on Instagram and see ladies flashing their thighs and their boobs. You're there again. Boom. You're again promising yourself, let me just do this one for the last time. And you see, that's basically an identity problem. That's not even about the organ. Now you're hurting the organ indirectly. Both physically, and you're hurting your spiritual, you're hurting your mental, you're hurting your physical. Literally. And now you're losing the connection between you and the women. So how will you be able to satisfy a woman when masturbation is in your head? You cannot even have an adequate conversation. Walk into the offices and you'll easily see a man who masturbates. How they sit, the sitting posture, very messed up. They can't sit upright for an hour. Look at them eating everything. They can't even resist food. You simply know this one, no. Yes, they call it blue balls, that I return I'll get the blue balls. Blue balls for who? Anyway, let me bring in some people here for our conversation. Now, this is a topic where men run away. When you ask them to have this conversation with you, they run away. But I always want these questions to be asked because this is a life for men. So when you have a life for men, you have a life for women, I expect women to ask questions, I expect men to ask questions on their life respectively. But most of us run away from this conversation because of the fear. And fear is evil. When you fear, you are actually evil. So yes, let's see who is here. So there's a place I read this quote. Listen to this. Sex is a great force, so great that it arouses or it kills all. Okay, when you arouse, sex is so great and it's a great force that when it's aroused, even your purpose and passions are put to rest. Amen. I repeat, sex is a great force, so great that if you arouse your sexual thoughts, even your purpose and your passions are suppressed. Imagine that. And this is the reason why you should actually be careful with who you sleep with. Man, sleeping with prostitutes is actually going to hey, one of the things that corrupts men totally. And you've seen a lot of people. I even saw the other day in Kilimani, there is a I think it's a senator from, is it Malindi or Lamu, being caught on camera with a woman who had stabbed another woman. And I was like, where? Now when a man gets drunk and then the second head starts to help him reason, senses disappear. Even his purpose disappears totally. At that moment in time, he just wants to ejaculate. That is so weird. Yes, let's talk to Denras. Let's see what Denras has for us. So yes, you can request to have a conversation with us. We'll take about 5 minutes to just end this live. And I hope these lives impact you positively, so that these are not here to corrupt your thoughts. They are here to actually challenge you so that you can become a better person. They're also here to educate and to build a nation that is healthy, because health is our first wealth. So that's my intention, okay? Yeah. Where is Dennis? Denras, you are in the bush. You're afraid of the conversation or something? Your network is crazy. Hey. Where? Denras is in the toilets. Let's talk to Tariq. Is it my internet that is problematic, or yes, Tariq?
Yo, Doc.
Yes, sir.
I was asking.
Yeah.
Okay, is turmeric water like harmful, or is it healthy? Turmeric, ginger water, and cinnamon.
When you say healthy, what do you mean?
Okay, let me ask this: is it harmful in any way?
No.
While taking it.
Why would you take it?
Okay.
What is the reason behind you taking it?
Research says it brings clear skin,
Okay.
and other benefits.
Research.
Of even losing weight.
Who's research?
Google.
Oh, okay. Well, we've talked about skin problems before, and for you to fix the skin, you must fix the gut. Turmeric water is not coming in to fix your gut. You just have to change what you're eating.
Okay.
Whatever the research says, ignore it. Go ahead.
One last question.
Yeah.
How to deal with anxiety, bad anxiety problems?
Why would you have anxiety in the first place? Is there something that you are afraid of? Is there something that you want to prove? Because anxiety comes from the need of you wanting to prove a point to something.
Yeah, like you're afraid that you won't satisfy the other gender.
You see, when
your wife, maybe.
That's a good one. You see, bro, when you're afraid of satisfying a woman, you will actually end up not satisfying her, because you're actually trying to run away from the fact that you have some weakness in bed. So ideally, from within you, you already have the belief that I'm unable to satisfy a woman, and that belief is actually the one that's going to give you anxiety. Because listen, what if this lady only wants 1 minute and you can manage 2 minutes? Which basically means you'll give her double orgasms. So why are you worried about her?
Okay, so like I should just be myself and do whatever I can.
Exactly. That's where you start from. When you start from that point of view, when you start easing up that tension from you, it becomes easy for you to even actually perform. So that is one. One of it is you have to hold back and just relax into it, because again, it's not the end of life. Number two, you must make sure that the foreplay takes longer period of time, because you see, most of us, when you see a lady with a beautiful behind, the first thing that comes into your head is, I want to get her in bed. It's not even you wanting to have some conversations with her to understand how the psychology of women works. You're just thinking, hey, boom, I want her in bed. I want her in bed. That's why we are having all this sex all over, but we are not having the satisfactory sex that we want. We keep on blaming them. So what you need to do is, one, you be yourself, and number two, take some time and be easy. Sex is not instant. Simply make it an event. Take some time to take the foreplay, prepare her earlier, make yourself comfortable. And then above all, before you even go for the process, start by fixing you. Go to the gym, eat healthy, start fasting so that you can boost your testosterone. Because you see, when you have that anxiety, it means deep within you are inadequate, which means your testosterone levels are so messed up to an extent that you are actually thinking you're feminine. So estrogen is up, you're thinking you're feminine, and you cannot be able to satisfy another feminine energy. So when you boost the masculine energy, you'll not need to care about the feminine energy. You simply care about having the sex as a process and as an event. And when you're done your job, you wait for congratulations. If it doesn't come, so be it. Well done, and you move.
Okay, thank you, Doc.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Sex anxiety is a problem, my friends. You know, when you have suffered consequences of basically a divorce or a broken relationship before, and the issue was all about the sex, and the woman, of course, they have a way of rubbing this in. They will tell you how you are a 1 minute man and all that, to just step on your ego. Sometimes they don't mean it, because they didn't tell you are a 1 minute man when you had them. But when they leave, now they start telling you, hey, hey, hey. So now, sometimes you have to know how to handle these things, and that's why you need to boost your masculine energy. You need to raise your testosterone energy, to know that, one, you don't need to chase the women for the sex, you need to attract women. Number two, you want to understand that sex is not about ejaculating, because when you start thinking about it in terms of ejaculating, all you're chasing in this process is just to ejaculate. And now you start worrying, because the moment you have that mindset, anytime you get into it, ooh, it's coming. It's coming. And now the fear settles in, because now you're thinking, maybe in the next woman it will still come, and I'll actually get the shame. So you have to get that shame out of you, because shame is the nature of evil. Identity crisis again comes in. Okay? Yeah, so we need to fix that. And I think that identity thing has to go deeper. So let me arrange how we'll do this. We're going to have Chloe and then Mafrika. After Mafrika, I'll have Ogungo, and then Team Prof, and then Kekeli. Yes, Chloe.
Hello?
Yes, how are you?
Yes. I'm good.
Talk to me.
Okay, people are asking about the anxiety issue in terms of sexual behavior.
Yes.
I just wanted to tell them when someone wants to have sex, they must have that a good condition like area.
Mm-hmm.
Unaona? To avoid disturbance, vitu kama mtu kama anakunywa pombe, the person is drunkard, maybe wanna have sex in an area where children wanaweza kuja kwa bedroom ama ringing of the phone. Alafu pia wanafaa tena kuangalia the 5 stages of having sex. Yenye tunaanzanga na desire stage.
Yeah.
Hiyo ndio time yenye mtu, hiyo time mnatoa nguo, kissing and whatever. Alafu kuna excitement stage. I think you'll just explain for them. Kuna excitement stage, kuna plateau. Orgasm, alafu hiyo resolution stage, ile yenye unauliza mtu how did you feel, vitu kama hizo.
Your place,
so yeah. When they
resolution hapo ndo hatutaki. Hapo kwa resolution.
No. Why?
No,
why?
but it's the truth. Most men don't want the resolution stage. That's for the women. They want to feel comfortable, because they want to know how the man felt about it. You see, for men, sex is more of a physical thing than it is a mental thing. It's not an emotional thing. Could be spiritual, but mostly it's physical. Okay. So once they are done, once they want to sleep.
That's why you don't have sex with anyone. Like you just find a lady and go have sex with that person.
Yeah.
You must agree, you two people, so that even in that resolution stage, you people can still talk and everything.
But you see, the reality is we cannot run away from the fact that in this generation, people are just having sex, and sex has become a recreational thing. Okay, so for example, if I'm interested in you, I'm taking you for several dates. I am not open to you to just come out and tell you, hey, Chloe, I'm interested in you and you're physically attractive and I would actually want to have sex with you. I'll not come that way. I'd rather spend some 5Gs taking you for different dates to win your organ, to win your trust. And then when I've won the trust, I'm expecting, because you're physically attractive, you're also good in bed. You see that expectation? That's where the problem is. So when I start expecting that because you look attractive or you have this fine behind, you are good in bed. Now I'm forgetting that good in bed is actually an effort between two people. So when I'm coming to you, I'm thinking you are the one who is supposed to satisfy me. You see the problem? So now I come there, and then the 1 hour that I'm having you, that 1 hour is not for me. That 1 hour is me trying to find your orgasm time. Because trust me, every man is aiming at you getting that orgasm before him, because he knows if he gets the orgasm before you, the ejaculation comes out before you, oh, it's the end of story. He's not coming back. The refractory period for most men is the longest period. It can take a whole night before they come back again. So you can imagine, he knows if he ejaculates, it's end of story. And we know that immediately we start having sex with you. We know this one has the sex appeal, so I can want to have sex with her again. But he also knows that this one, if I finish it earlier, I'm done. So this man, yeah, it's true. So this man is expecting you to satisfy him in bed because he thinks you're beautiful, so you're good in bed automatically. And now he's here, he's struggling with his own self, trying to satisfy you, but he's not getting that point where he's thinking, maybe amefika mwisho huyu, so now I have to get my deal done. And when I get that deal done, please, trust me, most men don't want that conversation. And that's why it's very necessary for men to hold back their ejaculation, because if they don't, immediately they are done. That's when they start realizing, this one had a pot belly. Kumbe this one has these they call it cellulites, the dimples everywhere. Yeah. So that's the point. That's the time he starts seeing all the faults in you. And at that moment in time, it's so late. So the only thing he has to do is to get into his defense mode and either sleep or become so angry and so tough so that you get scared. And you see, you will create excuses for him. You will actually say, maybe because it's the first time he's behaving this way, maybe he will change. Now you see, you're again trying to create excuses for him. The next time is going to be even worse. So when you talk about us having that conversation, it's not easy.
What happens to married couples?
No, married.
Like I think they should. That there is a difference between a relationship and married couples.
Yes. What is the difference?
That's why if they don't do such things, that like the stages, the phases of sexual intercourse. That's why you find someone's libidos has reduced, and even they go to psychologists to ask why their wife or husband has gradually changed.
But you see, that is you introducing a third party in your sexual life. This third party is also suffering from the same with the partner. He's just studied psychology, but that psychology is not changing his position. He's also having the same problems. And now he's here coming in as a third party. Do you want a threesome? The worst thing to do is to introduce a third party in that relationship, because that will mess you up. Because listen, when you go to a psychologist, and this guy, maybe a lady, is a lady who is advising you about your sex life in your marriage. Now you see, automatically, if you went with your man, this man is actually thinking, what about me replacing you with this psychologist? because you see,
they can't.
No, I'm being honest with you. Like literally, this is not a joke. Men are visual creatures. You will walk into that psychologist's room, and I am busy looking at everything that can actually get you out. Because by the time we are going to a psychologist, I don't need you. Because if I needed you, I could have conversation with you. So you already stopped to exist in my head. So multiple times I've had sex with you, but had an ejaculation with another woman in my head. And now you are taking me to a counselor who is a woman. That's a second woman in this marriage. I'm looking at this woman, I'm like, this one can come in handy, because if she has these types of advices, what if I can go for this one? You will end up losing.
It's not necessarily uende kwa psychologist mwenye ni mwanamke, unaweza enda to a man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another problem. Listen, your man is the ultimate man. To a woman, your man is the ultimate man. So imagine by the time your man is unable to solve anything, and now you have to seek advice from another man. What does that mean? It is the same concept with your man failing to provide, and now you have to go to work for another man so that he can provide for you. Do you see that? So you know very well, if you bring somebody who is a man to advise you about your sexual life, it means that this man is better than your man. True or false?
No.
Chloe, let's be honest. If you're going to seek advice from another man to give you advice about your sex relationship with your man, does it make your man the better man or the other man the better man? Let's be honest.
Okay, in this perspective.
Leave alone this perspective. I just want an answer. True or false?
True.
Exactly. So if you're seeking sexual advice from an other party who is a man, it basically means your man stopped making sense. So you're actually giving up on this man. But because the society will judge you, you're trying to hide in, and you're in denial, just trying to think that you're the best woman, and now you have to fix things. Listen, you cannot fix an adult. You can't fix an adult.
Okay. Okay, what happens?
Yes.
For married couples, they have talked about it, about that sexual desires, and nothing changes.
Yeah.
What should they do? Should they go to a psychologist, or what should they do? Should they quit that marriage?
But who understands your organs more than you? Si wewe ndio unaelewa organs zako, bwanako anaelewa organs zake. Nyinyi wenyewe mnajielewa vizuri. So basically it means something is not happening here. One, you see in marriage, look at it this way. In marriage, one, a woman has achieved all her goals, and marriage is the ultimate goal for most women, right?
Yeah.
So when you get into that marriage, this is your best decision, because marriage is the best decision for every woman. This is the best and the ultimate decision that you will ever make above all other decisions. You can be very tough at work. You can be that manager. But you see, one of the decisions that you will make that will be a super decision is the man that you will get married to, right? Chloe?
Yes, I'm listening.
And I told you, for you to get into any type of relationship, you don't need to rely on the other party. You first have to fix yourself. When you fix yourself and you get your own identity, you get to attract people who share the same ideologies as you. Now the problem is, you get into a marriage, you don't know God, you know about God. Your man does not understand any basics of forgiveness. In his head, he's actually carrying an identity from the mother. On this other side, you're carrying an identity from your mother. Now, this is a problem because all of you are feminine. So in marriages, it comes to a place where all of you mezoeana. Na ile kuzoeana is a problem. It did not start in marriage. It started earlier. Only that you guys pushed yourself into marriage without understanding the basics. Because I believe before anybody gets into marriage, they have to know God directly. Basically, they must have their own identity. So that the women that they attract, or the men that they attract, are actually godly. They have their own identities. But how many marriages exist and men have never forgiven their mothers? How many marriages exist and women don't know God? They know about him because they've heard about him, but they don't know him. So marriage is an institution that's ordained by God. It is ordained by God. And you see, in marriage, sex for a man becomes a responsibility. It's not even fun anymore. It's just a responsibility. I have to make sure that I satisfy my woman, because if I don't, I've failed in my part, because sex is part of my responsibility to her. So when you know God and you understand the order of God, you will simply understand your roles to this woman. And that means there is no single day that you will not satisfy her in bed, because you will be eating right, you will be exercising, you will be fasting, and you will be enjoying the sun, You'll be easing up on stress. You'll be working hard to provide. You'll be that family man. Therefore, it means there is no single place you went wrong, because getting that sexual issues in marriage is not about the marriage. It's about the man and the woman. It's about you guys. So we just try to hide in the marriage umbrella. But it's about me. If I'm unable to satisfy you in bed, how is the marriage having being a problem here? Because there are other people who are in marriages and they are still having satisfactory sex. You understand my point? So it's not about the marriage, it's about the people.
Yeah,
We just hide in marriage, in the umbrella of marriage, but it's about the people. It's not about the marriage. So men should go back to being men. Men, before you get married, know God, so that you can teach your woman about God and how to know God. So that now your woman can teach the children. Because any woman who understands the nature of God, or any man who understands the order and the nature of God, will know God above men, men above women, and women above children. So everything from love, from the energy will trickle from God to the man, from the man to the woman, and then from the woman to the children. But look at it this way. Nowadays, there is God and then children. So the order of God is actually distorted. And when the order of God is distorted, that marriage cannot work, because marriage is an institution that is ordained by God. Have I answered you?
yeah.
Why do you sound breathless? Why do you sound like somebody who just ideas just disappear? Eh? Where you came with a lot of energy. Now I have to pull the energy out of you. Are you okay?
You explaining marriage in according to God's perspective, like Christianity.
No, it's not Christianity. God is not about Christians. Marriage is not about Christianity. Marriage is about just God. It's just the order of God. There's nothing like Christianity in this one. It's a spiritual thing. Like let me ask you, are you married?
No.
Would you want to be married?
Maybe some years to come.
It's a yes
I don't have that thing in mind.
Is a yes or no. Would you want to be? Would you want to be married? It's a future question. Would you want to be married? Stop listening to the other party. You simply answer the question. Wachana huyo mwenye ako background. Would you want to be married?
No.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a good evening. Eh? Chloe, are you belonging to the alphabet? That you get worried here. But anyway, that was a good conversation, Chloe. Only that there's another party behind you who was actually distracting you. And that party actually made you lose the point. She actually made you miss out the point. Okay? And that's the problem with women. Women listen so much to other women, and these other women are miserable. We have all these problems, but we like listening to other women because misery loves company. Now look at those women who are actually destabilizing the family union. They are really struggling with family. They came from families that are actually broken. So that is what they understand. They don't understand the nature and the order of God. And there's nothing like God in Christianity. It's just God. God is God. Whether Islam, Christianity, Hinduism, it doesn't matter. So women who are actually struggling with marriage are the ones who are actually pulling women who are in marriage out of marriage. Now women start to think that out of marriage the grass is greener. Trust me, when you're in marriage, all of us who are not married will give you the attention that you want. We will tell you how you look good today, because we know your husband did not say it in the morning. We will take that responsibility. Because we know, having sex with a married woman, there's no responsibility. There's no responsibility. We know we are coming here to ejaculate. If you get pregnant, you'll sort it yourself. You get the point? So we are coming in to have our fun. We don't even care. If I don't satisfy you, who cares? I mean, you're not mine. You're somebody else's. And men, listen to this. Men will not take your woman. No, men don't take away your woman. What they do is, they pick her, they give her a good time, and then they bring her back. Hello? Men pick your woman, they give her a good time, and then they bring her back. But women can take your man. If a woman wants your man, she will take your man. And she will be willing to even destroy you to maintain that man, because she knows the value of that man. Take your time and go through this life and go back to that point and understand it. So most of the times a woman is giving you advice about marriage, be very careful. Because her advice is centered on emotions. And remember, you cannot separate emotions from a woman. Whether she's a psychologist or whatever she is, psychologists are actually suffering in marriages. They're actually having it rough in marriages. It's rough for them in marriages. So then this is somebody who is having a problem in marriage and she wants to tell you about how to satisfy your man in bed. She's actually going to regurgitate porn to you. She's going to tell you how she watched the porn video, how she has done research on the reproductive organs. She has done research on reproductive organ that you have. You can actually do a research on your own. Now remember, marriage is for two. For three is a crowd. So by the time a woman is trying to get out to seek advice, marital advice, from another man, it means this man here is a male. He stopped making sense. So the other man is the one who is actually considered. And that's why I told you, women can only handle one man in their head. They can handle multiple men around them physically, but they cannot handle two men in their head. So if she cheats on a man, she wanted to do it. She had actually thought about it and contemplated it. For the men, it can be very physical. Boom, we are done. Anyway, let's continue. I hope you're picking in some lessons here. So next was who? Mafrika. Chloe came in with a very good idea, very great energy, and I wanted her to just roll this conversation, but she allowed herself to be distracted. Do not be distracted. Do not be distracted. Focus on the goal, okay? Yes, Mafrika.
I hope you can hear me.
I can hear you loud and clear.
I do have a few questions.
Go ahead, bro.
And I've heard you say about the benefit of semen retention.
Yes.
Now, my question is, does more sex strengthen the penis?
More sex?
Yeah.
Okay.
The more frequency you have it, does it strengthen the penis?
That's a good question. But allow me to ask you a question before I answer that question, okay? What do you define as strong penis?
Let me... That's a difficult question to answer.
Good. Another question.
From my own definition...
Yes.
From my own definition...
Yes.
Let's say that you can hold an erection until satisfaction, both of you are satisfied. Yeah, maybe I can explain it that way.
Okay, you see, if you cannot hold an erection to a process of satisfactory sex, what does that mean? It means you are suffering from erectile dysfunction. So how can multiple sex help you treat erectile dysfunction?
I mean, I didn't mean multiple,
but
I mean the frequency of it.
But that's multiple sex, like you're having multiple sex occasions.
With one pattern, or just one partner.
Yes, no problem, but multiple sex with the same person.
Yeah.
So if you're having erectile dysfunction, how will multiple sex with the same partner change that? Can it?
I'm not sure. Just a question that I thought of.
No problem.
I heard someone say.
I understand you clearly. So let me try and make it easier for you, okay? Between a teenager and a guy in 40s, who has more sexual energy?
I think the guy in maybe a teenager, I guess.
Why?
I guess because a teenager is more active than a guy who's in 40s.
No, because their testosterone are very high, that is one. And number two, they're actually trying to have multiple sex as they grow up. By the time you're getting to 40, you have more sex than the guy who is at 19, right? Unless otherwise. True or false?
Okay. True, that is true.
So if a guy at 40 has had all these sex experiences, and now he's settled in marriage, and this guy who is a teenager, who is just trying to have his first occasions of sex, he's vibrant, he's trying to do everything to just make sure that he gets into the sexual marketplace. Why is it that this one at 40 is having low energy when he has had multiple sex occurrences? Is it ringing a bell? So the more the sex, do you get weaker or do you get stronger?
I guess the more you have it, I guess you get used to it, I guess it becomes weaker.
Yes,
I guess.
but understand this, that is not about the sex. It's about the ejaculation. So the more the ejaculation, the lesser the testosterone, the weaker you become.
That's why you said that we should
Retain your
take
semen.
instead of ejaculating.
Retain your semen. So a guy at 40, he has had it all the ejaculation. He has wasted the manhood, the masculinity, the muscle, the testosterone. And now he's growing weaker and weaker. And now he has to settle down with this one woman for the lifetime. But of course, he is having other multiple partners outside that marriage, which we don't encourage. But this is the reality. The reality is the more you ejaculate, the weaker you become. So for you to become strong and retain your sexual power and retain your ability to satisfy a woman, even at 40, ejaculation is only supposed to be reserved when you want to make a woman pregnant.
Okay, I understand that.
Next question.
The next question.
Yeah.
I think I read somewhere I heard someone say about the effect of bananas.
Yes.
Does bananas boost energy or increase the performance in bed?
No. Why? Because bananas are fructose. Fructose is a sugar. That fructose will be converted to fat in the liver to give you a fatty liver. The fatty liver will give you obesity. Obesity is a negative impact to testosterone because the fatter you become, the lesser active sexually you become as a man because you lower your testosterone. So sugar is an enemy to sexual life activity. Also remember, sugar blocks the blood flow towards the penis, and that gives you weak erections because for you to get an erection, you must have blood flow towards the penis. Number 3, sugar destroys the nerves. And for you to get an erection, you need nervous transmission and supply towards the penis. So if you don't have functioning nerves, if you don't have blood supply towards the penis, and if you don't have enough testosterone because of being fat, you end up becoming a weak man. So therefore, bananas are a no.
Okay, now the next question.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people talk about the foods that men should eat
Yeah.
to boost their libido.
Yes.
Do women also have the food that they should eat to boost their libido?
There is nothing like boosting your libido. You simply boost testosterone. And how do you boost testosterone? Eat high protein diet, minimize on the carbohydrates and make them the complex carbohydrates. Drop the sugars totally and the inflammatory foods, the seed oils, the wheat products, and the sugars, basically whether natural or synthetic sugars. Start fasting to boost your testosterone. Go to the gym at least 3 to 4 times a week so that you can boost the muscles of erection and ejaculation and also boost your testosterone. Take cold showers. Enjoy the sun to stabilize your hormones. Ease up on stress in your life. That's it. And then have sex without ejaculating.
What about for the women?
No, this is a topic for the men. we will organize one for the women.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess. Oh, about the vegetable oils. Are they good for health and also do they affect men?
You've been here for how long? How long have you been here?
I came when I started.
No, on my platforms. How long have you been on my platforms?
Actually, I heard you discuss about that, but I thought you said about the health wise, not about the effect of the testosterone.
Testosterone, for you to get testosterone, you need fats, animal fats. So drop every single vegetable oil. It's an inflammatory food. So simply go to the saturated fats, the animal fats, the coconut oil, and all that. Do away with the vegetable oils, totally.
Okay.
Good.
I guess you answered my questions.
Awesome. Thank you for that conversation. I appreciate you, bro. That is more Africa. Do not be lied to that bananas, just because it looks like the banana will boost that energy. No. No. Bananas will actually end you in a pit, brother. There was a guy who I saw who was saying you can get distraction. So he had a point because he said for you to actually perform best in sex, you can get a distraction by just eating a banana during the sex process. That's a good idea, but eating bananas will actually, in the long run, will give you problems. So you'd rather snack on the nuts. Okay. Next is Ogungo. Is it Ogungo? Yes. So I'll take about 3 people and then we call it a night.
Hi, Doc. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, bro, but raise your voice a little bit.
Oh, my question. Okay. I can see guys are just beating around the bush.
Okay.
I want to be very personal about this.
Let's go.
So there is an issue here with performance anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
and we're not understanding where it is coming from.
Okay.
But from my experience,
Yes.
I've had several instances of ED,
Yeah.
and I've been wondering why that is happening to me, being that I'm just 29, 30.
Mm.
And this thing has really disturbed me a lot. So I took an initiative, went to Kenyatta,
Mm.
and they recommended some tests. I did testosterone test. They took a lot of blood samples.
Mm-hmm.
They took urine samples. But when the test results came, everything was negative.
Mm.
So they told me that I need to see a urologist.
Okay.
And I didn't get a chance actually to see a urologist because of the current mandamanos.
Mm-hmm.
Because guys were flooding the emergency unit, so I was not able to see the urologist. So I took some break.
Mm-hmm.
Now when I came back home, I was so much disturbed. So I told my wife, you see, this thing has been a problem because we had talked about it, and she told me, you just go, maybe you have a chronic condition or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But this thing has led me to performance anxiety. And I don't know what really happens.
Yeah.
But when I'm good, when everything is calm, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I can go for 30 minutes, I can go for 1 hour,
Yeah.
But I've been following your lives, I've been following your recordings. And so I just say tonight, let me just hear from you, because from the conversation and from the people who have talked here, you're saying if you introduce a third party, like a psychologist or something like that,
Yeah.
that's a whole mess.
Mm-hmm.
So let me hear from you.
Okay, what do you want to
How
hear
do you
from me?
deal with this performance anxiety?
Oh, performance anxiety. Now, bro, first things first, you are married, right? How long have you been married?
Let's say 7 years.
7 years. So in these 7 years, you've had one sexual partner for 7 years straight.
During college, I had one, but not several occasions, just once. But
Okay.
most of the time, we've been together.
So if you've had one woman for marriage for 7 years, tell me where the anxiety is coming from. Yet this is a woman you understand and you know better. You actually started with her, so you know her weak points, you know her strengths, you know how far she can go in bed. So where does the anxiety come from?
The failure, sometimes, you want to do this thing, you prepared this person, but when you come to bed, this thing fails. It's not rising to the occasion.
That's the point. Now you see, failing to rise to the occasion is now a condition. That's an erectile dysfunction. Now we try to hide in the anxiety, the performance anxiety, but the reality is we are suffering from an erectile dysfunction problem. So let me ask you some few questions here and there. What is your body weight?
Okay, my body weight right now is 79.
79 kgs. Do you consume sugar in any form?
Yeah, actually I dropped sugar, the sukari one, but chapatis maybe once or twice in a month.
So you consume wheat products?
Yeah, wheat products, yes.
What is your cooking oil?
Cooking oil, just the regular cooking oil, this one of...
0% cholesterol, right?
Not 0% cholesterol.
The kawaida ones are the vegetable oil.
Kawaida.
Vegetable oil, right? The liquid ones. The ones that are in yellow containers.
Yes.
Good. How often do you exercise?
I go to the gym thrice in a week. Because when I realized, the first thing I did, I thought maybe I was overweight. So by that time, when I noticed, because this thing has hit like 7 months, so I went to the gym when I was 94.
I would like you to stick to short answers. Just want you to stick to short answers. Like, how often do you go to the gym?
in a week.
How many times?
Thrice,
Okay.
3 times.
Okay. Do you struggle with sleep?
Yes, I do online writing. So most of the time I'm seated. I sleep like 4 hours, sometimes 2 hours, you know, sometimes. So sleep is an issue.
Good. So since you're doing online writing, do you think that online writing is a stressful job to you?
Yeah, the nature of that job, actually, people who have done it, it's really stressing. So you stay for long, you do revisions, those things, yeah.
Good.
So
When was the last time you fasted intentionally, basically beyond 24 hours?
intentionally once in a month, once.
Okay. So how many
That
meals?
was 2 months ago.
Okay. How many meals do you do in a day?
I regularly 3 meals, but I skip at least a meal. Once in a week, I skip a meal.
Do you snack in between?
Snack rarely.
What is your favorite fruit?
My favorite fruit is watermelon.
Watermelon. How often do you do it?
Like twice in a day.
Okay. And how often do you have sex with your wife in a week?
Week twice
Twice.
or thrice. Twice, thrice there.
Is this intentional sex
Weekend
or is it?
inakuanga yetu tu.
Okay. Now, for those of us who have been here for the longest period of time, they will tell you your problem is not anxiety or performance anxiety. No. Your problem is the diet. Bro, you're actually feeding estrogen. A man has 2 hormones, one is estrogen, the other one is testosterone. All the questions that I've been asking you are actually leading to the things that actually feed estrogen. So basically, you're trying to seek validation from the hospitals, from doctors, from the urologist. Be lucky that you did not find a chance to see the urologist so you can save the money and go and fix the kitchen. Because however much or how it doesn't matter how many doctors you will see and urologists you will see, you already see there's no diagnosis so far, but you're still having erectile dysfunction at 30 years old. And at 30 years old, 79 kgs, that is on the higher side. We don't know your height, but we'll tell you this for free. What are the things that actually destroy your sexual life and they lower your testosterone levels? Number 1 is sugar in all forms, including fruits and honey. You're consuming sugar, you're consuming fruits, and all these are sugars. Do you eat ugali and rice?
Yes.
That is another sugar.
Ugali
So
and rice.
ugali and rice, whether it's for the posho meal or whether it's the brown ugali, all that is a carbohydrate. That is sugar. So you're suffering from a sugar problem. Number 2, you're consuming seed oils that are inflammatory and that destabilize your testosterone levels. Number 3, you're feeding yourself with wheat products that actually affect your gut integrity, so therefore you cannot absorb nutrients from diets adequately. Another one is you exercise, yes, but what exercises do you do in the gym? Do you run on a treadmill?
Sometimes aerobics, I do biceps, triceps, sometimes bench.
So
I usually prefer bench and triceps. Once in a week at least I do aerobics to cut weight.
Now you see, those are the exercises that all of us go to the gym to do. But the reality is, if you're going to the gym as a man, you're supposed to go to gym to train for the compound exercises. I mentioned them in my videos on YouTube. 1 is the deadlift. 2 is the bench press, both the flat one and the incline one, not the decline one. 3 is the squats. 4 is the overhead shoulder press. 5 is the pull-up. 6 is the bend over rows. These are the exercises that you specifically do in the gym to make sure that you boost your testosterone. Now, the gym is not fun. The gym is not going there to just jump for 30 minutes and run on a treadmill. The gym was designed to mimic activities that we do on a daily basis. Ben, settle down. Please settle down. The gym
Can you
was
repeat the exercises there?
squatting,
The 6 exercises.
deadlift, bend over rows, bench press, both incline and flat, squats, overhead shoulder press, and even the pull-up. These are exercises that actually train more than 3 muscles in your body. They will boost your testosterone immensely. They will help you strengthen the muscles. And also you can do the kegels and also the hip thrust to just strengthen the muscles on the floor of the pelvic so that you can have these strong erections and even ejaculation muscles. And then change these diets Drop the sugar totally. You don't need sugar. Drop the carbohydrates totally. Change them actually to the complex carbohydrates. Instead of ugali, rice, and chapati, go and do the sweet potatoes, the green bananas, the butternuts, the arrowroots, the beans, and all that. Then combine that with fatty meats, the animal proteins. Do away with the plant-based proteins and concentrate on the animal proteins. Enjoy the fatty meats. Enjoy every red and white meat. Eat them in plenty. Eat eggs in plenty. 6 to 8 eggs a day as a man. Enjoy the vitamins. Enjoy also the spices, the organic spices. Once you do that, you will have dropped all these things, and then you start fixing the gut. And then use animal fats to cook. The ghee, the tallow, the coconut oil also can be used. The lard, use those for cooking instead of using the kawaida, mafuta ya kawaida. That is not kawaida. It's very unusual and it's very bad for your gut. Once you've done that, you will fix the gut. When you fix the gut, you start to absorb nutrients from food adequately. And now, don't be eating 3 meals a day. Simply eat either 1 meal a day in the evening or eat 2 meals at noon and in the evening, so that you have a gap between the meals. Don't snack in between. Rehydrate with salt and water. On the weekends, you said in weekend yenu na bibi, go out and basically just enjoy the sun. Bask and enjoy the sun. Sleep, because when you start to fix your gut by dropping these foods and fasting, sleep will start to come. When you start to sleep now, your job does not matter right now. What matters is your health, because without your health, that job is not going to be functional. So simply fix your health and then the job comes secondary. So your health is your first wealth, which basically means when you drop these foods, you fix the gut, you start enjoying these foods, you start absorbing food, you start fasting, and then your sleep will come automatically. Go and have 6 to 8 hours of sleep. And then whatever you can't do, don't do it, because you need to lower your stress levels. And then as you have sex, do not prioritize ejaculation. You don't need to ejaculation all the time. Simply have sex with her, do not ejaculate. That one time you have the energy to have sex, do not ejaculate. Hold back the ejaculation. Get the orgasm, but do not ejaculate. Don't usikam, simply hold back. Let it go back. Relax, distract yourself. Through that, you will pound this woman satisfactorily. And then be patient with yourself, because from the time you were born all the way to 30, you've been eating all the unhealthy foods. So you've messed up your system, but now the beauty about the system is it has to fix itself slowly but perfectly. So simply take time, be patient, be consistent about it, and then just go into it, walk into it, and learn through the process. And then I'll stick on this platform so that you can get more information about these things. And through that, your woman will be a happy woman. But as you go to the urologist and you go to Kenyatta and whatever hospital and whatever psychologist you want to go to, they're not going to change your situation. They are just going to put you on medication after medication. Now you'll be put on the sildenafil. You'll use sildenafil to start messing your blood pressures. And the next thing, admission after admission, oh this, oh that. Please change your diet and your kitchen totally, start fasting and sleep. And also rehydrate with salt and water. Is that difficult to do?
Not really, not really. So there's no need of seeing those psychologists or psychiatrists.
Bro, no psychologist is coming to change your kitchen. I just did. And then go on my YouTube channel, Health and Wellness Sport. Search for the video that is labeled Diet Plan. Diet Plan. Health and Wellness Sport. Diet Plan. Just name Diet Plan. And just follow what it's saying. Thank me later.
One last question.
Yeah.
What about this thing with the women? Because sometimes I see like, okay, if you're not having erection, and they just don't want you to touch them, the foreplay issue is not there completely.
Well, now understand this.
They're just saying.
Mm-hmm.
They're just saying, okay, if you're not having erection, then don't just come near me.
Okay.
So the anxiety builds up.
Okay.
And sometimes I find it so hard, like just getting erected and start fucking, It's hard because the woman is dejected. She just feels like once she's next to you, you should be erected.
Okay.
I don't know if this thing is happening to you guys or it's happening. But this is what I'm experiencing.
So listen to me, bro. And I'm glad that you came out open. So we see the need to actually help you. Now, this is the reality. One, you are struggling with identity because you don't know who you are in this position. You don't know you're the man who is supposed to dictate the pace of the relationship and the marriage, including the sex life. That is one. Number two, you're seeking validation from her. You're actually thinking, maybe if I do this, she'll feel this. Maybe I'm doing this, that's why she feels this. Maybe because I don't have this erection, that's why she feels this. But remember this, one of the roles of a man in a marriage is to satisfy your woman sexually. Now, most women are so angry out here because they don't get enough sex. Most women dress so bad out here, slutty way of dressing, showing off their buttocks, their thighs, and their breasts, the cleavage. Not because they want to, but because it's like a marketing strategy. Because the man that they have is a weak man. So the problem is when you start to blame the woman instead of fixing yourself. Now you see, you're already worried about the woman instead of worrying about fixing yourself and let the woman align. Because this woman is actually portraying a chaotic energy because you're not humbling her nerves. Sex humbles women's nerves. That's why a woman can wake up very angry in the morning, and when you have sex with her satisfactorily, she's just a different woman. She now sings in the kitchen and cooks you the best meal you want. But you see, you cannot put out orders when you're failing in your department, because one of your roles is one. And allow me to ask you this for free, because you've come out open. So allow me to ask you this: you and your woman, do you share any bills? Hello.
Hello.
Do you
Come
share?
again?
Do you share any bills with your wife?
Yeah, sometimes yes.
That's the point. You see, bro, if you're sharing bills with her and then you don't have an option, you have an obligation to satisfy in bed, because if you don't, you see now how she's thinking. Now I'm playing the masculine role of providing, and this guy, the only role that I'm expecting her to play satisfactory is to have sex with me satisfactorily, but he's not doing it. So she starts to resent you. And the weird part is when she starts to resent you, she becomes like you. So she'll start portraying the energy that you have. That marriage will start to break. So the real deal is this: you need to fix yourself first before even thinking about satisfying her in bed. So simply do what I've just told you to do. Be consistent with it for the next about 3 months or so. You will suffer the consequences for these 3 months, but you're trying to fix something for the future. Because if this is a woman that you want to actually to stick around for the next maybe 70 years, you have to fix the now. But you see, you're worried about her instead of worrying about fixing you. Do you get the point?
Okay.
Yeah, so the point starts with you. Fixing you, the woman will align. Because you see, you are her choice. Whether she likes it or not, she chose you. But you are failing her because you fail to do what you need to do. You fail to lead from the front. You fail to fix the kitchen so that she adapts to that. She came in probably cooking the same food that she was taught to cook by the mother, and you've allowed that instead of fixing what has to be fixed. And now it's time for you to fix what you have to fix, because you see, the more she becomes chaotic, the more you'll become angry, and one day you'll get to hit her because you're thinking, now this one has to give me sex because she's my wife. So you think it's an obligation that you need to get the sex, but you see, when she gives you the sex, you don't provide it satisfactorily. So she thinks, I'm wasting my time and energy, and she becomes so angry about it. Now you cannot fix her anger because anger is personal. What you need to do is you need to fix yourself so that you get to play your role as a man, and through playing your role as a man, the woman will align. She's actually looking for the masculine energy in you. But you see, there's a lot of feminine energy in you because of raising levels of estrogen. So you need to lower the estrogen, fix the testosterone, then the manhood comes in and the woman aligns to that masculine energy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, bro. Yeah, I think I've exhausted this, and I think it's time for me to just say good night. Where? Noma sana. But I appreciate this guy. This guy came out guns blazing because he was sure what he wanted. I believe he has gotten the help. If he has not, go back to my YouTube channel tomorrow and just watch the live and get to this part. You can cut it and just put it in your phone. Let it ring in your head every single day. Yes, Kikeli.
Yeah, hello, Doc.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine. Actually, there's a lot. I just forgot what I wanted to say because there's a lot of information and quite interesting topic because not everyone loves to talk about those things, but we do need it in the society. Also, not for us, but for our kids and brothers growing up. I think the sugar issue is getting so worse than even the younger one cannot make it to have a good erection. They don't even know.
Yeah.
So this is something we maybe have to start now, talking about it. It's not a shame. Sex is normal. Everybody has sex in this home. So I think it's a good topic.
Yeah.
Really educative.
Welcome.
So thank you for the whole explanation. And what I like is the fixing your finding your identity part.
Yeah, yep.
Because I tried it, because I thought the first time we spoke, it was on Telegram. I said, no, I have a wonderful childhood. I don't have any issue with identity, but it wasn't true.
Yeah.
So I went back, tried to talk with mom and go through the whole thing, and it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Everybody is resenting somebody, and it's quite a pity.
Yeah.
So when we start leaving those things behind us, you find your own identity, and it make a difference.
Yeah.
How to face the challenges, even sexual life and all those things. It make a huge difference, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Please help our male to be men. We need men in society.
Thank you, Kekeli. Thank you. I hope they can get to watch this live and learn something from it.
I hope so. We will share the live, like we share the videos later. So
Thank you.
to any male we know.
Yeah, go and fix the males. It's time to fix the males, okay? Let's build the men. Somebody is saying here, huyu angepatana na Amerix, then akuje na huku health and wellness sport, angejua ya ushuhuda. Some men, they need to actually join that gentleman. That gentleman whips them so hard. So I believe when you come here, it's just secondary. You get the information secondary, and then we just make sure that your health is in order. So yeah, wafuasi wa Amerix wamekam hapa kama waweru. Hey. Hey, the last person here is the Steve, and then we call tonight. Guys, I wish you could roll these conversations until morning, but again, it's Friday. But you should thank me because I've held some of you here from going out to drink the alcohol and to suffer the consequences. Yes, Prof.
Yes, how are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. For me, I think I'm just enjoying the live, and I like what you're doing to men. And I would also encourage that you talk of the bit of marriage in terms of preparation, and also when you're in it, maybe if one day you can just do that topic.
Yeah, man.
Because everything goes around marriage.
Yeah.
And I heard you say that it's not about marriage, it's about the people. So
yeah.
If you can talk to men about marriage and how to handle a few things here and there, it would be good.
Man, that's eye-opening, bro. Thank you for that. I'll actually consider that. And you see that this is where we get the ideas from, because what we want to respond to exactly the energy that you're bringing in. So when you come with such energy, it's easy for us to know what you want us to talk about, and we can easily make it happen.
Sure. When you just be specific about marriage and we talk about all these issues, how a man should lead, because I believe in three things: a man should provide, should lead, should protect.
Yes.
And if you just go around all those topics, I think it would be really good, because marriage, every time you talk about these things, you realize they end up in marriage. So if you can just make a marriage a topic, it would be good. And again, if you can do like a book, I'm not sure if you can, because these questions of diet will always come up. So if there is like a documentation, so when you come here in live, you say, this is my book. There are people who can do YouTube fine, but there are people who can do
reading.
I want somewhere where I will always go and say, like, I should not use this oil, I should not use plant oil, I should use animal oil, and what type of oil works. This type, like a documentation can be good. So if you can do that, it can be our guide.
Amazing. That's the energy that we need on these platforms. And thank you for opening up our heads, bro. Thank you, man.
Thank you, that's all.
We can finish the live on that note, man. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being patient with us. I think this has been the most interesting live in my view. Keep it up, Doc. Yes, we keep improving every single day. And you know, those of you who have been here ever since we started this journey, it didn't look like it will get this better, right? But it gets better every single day. We get to build each other. This is not a platform that I dictate. No, this is a platform that I share my views about health. I open up your head about health so that you can actually integrate these things. And this last gentleman just said, Prof said this, that the role of a man is to provide, protect, and lead. But listen to me, 70% of the population is males. Men are getting extinct, and that's why women are suffering in the hands of the males. For you to become a man, you must have an identity. Simply understand that, so that you can understand the nature of God and the order of God. Because for you to provide, to protect, and to lead, anybody, whether a woman or your children, you must understand that there's an order of God, because God is the one who wants people, who wants men to lead, to protect, and provide for the women. But because we've turned away from God, sometimes we call it a fallen state, because we've turned away from God. My friend, my good mentor called JLP, talks about this as a fallen state. So when you turn against God, what happens is God is not angry at you, no. God just lets you experience your life, and then when you come back, He now takes you back, and you have to come back through forgiveness. So when you have that identity, you now start to understand the nature of God. And when you understand the nature of God, it means God above men, men above women, and women above children. So that order has to be maintained. So a man that understands God will understand that order, and through that order, he'll get to provide, protect, and also lead the family. So thank you so much for being here this night. Thank you for actually taking a lot of, today we've done 2 hours, 34 minutes. Amazing. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for joining in these lives. We hope that we get to expand. You can share these lives with other people. You can actually help us expand our YouTube channel by bringing in new ideas. Help us by subscribing and following us on TikTok and YouTube. Join my Telegram channel, Health and Wellness Sport, as we consider new ideas, as we bring in new ideas, so that we can actually make sure that our lives and our videos are very interesting, and they are very educative, and they actually challenge you to be a better person. So go and sleep. We'll see you on Monday again for another live. Remember, on Tuesday we're having our testimonial Tuesday. This Tuesday was messed up because of the lights, but on Tuesday we're having our testimonial Tuesday. We hope that you can join in and share your testimonies so that people can get inspired by your story. Now continue watching our videos and sharing them to your families and your friends and those WhatsApp groups, because through that you get to help us grow as we get to help you change your life for the better. Remember, I exist because my role is to glorify God through through actually easing pain and suffering from His people. And above all, I help you understand healthcare in a language that is easy to digest. So I stand in between you and the healthcare. I break healthcare in a language that you can easily understand, and this will be amazing. So thank you so much for being here, all through those who've gifted us, the super chats, those who've subscribed to my channel. Thank you so much. Above all, remember the contact that I put on my videos every time, the 0707074722, is our consultation contact. Use that to get to us for the physical consultation, for the online consultations, and also to book for the weight loss journey that starts on Monday. Until then, have a good weekend and take care of yourselves. You deserve better.